Iron Shack Politics here, and welcome to another video that we have here. The debacle between the Israeli Tel Aviv Maccabi and Amsterdam Palestinians and Palestinian protesters and such continues. We have more evidence from a Dutch official who finally has, quote-unquote, the balls to condemn the Zionist thugs in Amsterdam. We're going to take a look at like a 5-minute video here of his testimony and his speech, because I believe it's really important. So let's tap into that now.
Voorzitter, als mensen worden aangesproken.
So he says, Chairman, people are addressed regarding the fact that they are Jewish. It's terrible and has to be tackled. And the statements we have heard in recent days, such as cancer Jew and we're going on a Jew hunt, this cannot be, this is not allowed. And we have to denounce this. Anti-Semitism in all its forms is terrible and has to be fought against, no matter how it is expressed in words or in deeds. There is no place for hate in the Netherlands. It is proper that in the Netherlands we are having a discussion about discrimination and hate in our society. But this battle against discrimination, however, becomes weak when you selective shop which types of discrimination you want to tackle. The debate loses credibility when forms of discrimination and hate are not acknowledged and downplayed. But the last few days, Amsterdam was terrorized by genocide glorifiers who thought, like they, as some sort of colonists, could make Amsterdam unsafe. And these Maccabi thugs, and on genocide leave, were able to riot nearly undisturbed. So he's bringing up some really good points. While the majority of Amsterdam feels the pain of the total destruction of Gaza and the... Oh, looks like we're skipping some lines there. Feels the pain of destruction of Gaza by the Dutch government-supported genocide. Ooh, so he's calling out the government, saying like, hey, you guys are sending weapons too and promoting this. Okay. Gangs of Maccabi thugs walked through the city and shouted, F the Arabs. And you know the F word. There is no school left in Gaza because there are no more kids. And that is a quote that the Israeli Zionists have been using in their chants and stuff. We've looked at that in previous videos. Racism and glorification of the genocide. The laughing about murdered children, while the police just watched. Palestinian flags were destroyed and set on fire. Windows where Palestinian symbols were hanging were shattered. The thugs terrorized the city with planks, belts, and metal pipes. And we've all seen this in my previous video from Bender's footage and the other journalist, Annette. They had documentation of these guys picking up the planks and the metal pipes and beating people in the streets and throwing rocks and stuff. Taxi drivers were threatened and attacked. Ladies with a headscarf were told, we know where to find you, Arabs. We will cut you down. We will kill you. So imagine that, okay? We have to really set the scene for that, because these are Israeli football fans coming to a country where they are a guest into Amsterdam, and they're there for a soccer game, yet they choose to parade around with metal pipes and wooden 2x4s and stuff, and they yell, we will kill you, we will kill the Arabs. You know, they think they have domain over the entire world to cleanse it of Arabs. And that's what speaks to what's happening in Israel. It's not just, ooh, we're just fighting a war, get the hostages back. No, at this point, it is, we want to exterminate not only every Arab here, but we want to make sure that the world is free of Arabs so that we are never on the defensive anymore. Now that's insane. That's Hitler-esque. That is Nazi-like propaganda. That's what Hitler thought of the Jews. So it's insanely ironic that one Holocaust has led to justify another. And it's a real shame that it's the people that suffered in the first Holocaust that are the ones that are dishing out this next Holocaust. So we say this all the time. One Holocaust does not justify another. Here we are.
Will kill you. En in een Israëlische krant,
In an Israeli newspaper, we could read that the Maccabi thugs told each other and coordinated with each other, we will search for Palestinians
om ze in Amsterdam
so we can beat them up in Amsterdam. So premeditated. It was planned. I mean, I showed you guys previous footage of them grabbing the pipes and the wood and stuff like that, and you can see that as they're roaming the streets, they're coming up with a plan. They're like, yeah, let's grab this and let's go find some Palestinians to beat up. Let's burn some flags and tear them down and all this stuff. So it's all premeditated. So it speaks to the fact that they knew, even before they even got to the game, before they even lost the game, before they even got to Amsterdam and started protesting, burning flags and pulling things down, pulling the flags down, that they knew they were going to do this, specifically.
Dan zou je denken dat deze Tweede Kamer zegt, deze buitenlandse
Foreign interference by IDF soldiers. Yeah, if we go back here.
Om ze in Amsterdam in elkaar te slaan.
So he says, you would think this parliament would say the foreign interference by IDF soldiers on genocide leave, there is no place for it in the Netherlands. And I agree. These Maccabi thugs with values that are in complete opposition to what the Netherlands stands for, there's no place for them. We will stand next to all the Dutch people that are being terrorized in their own city. But it was silent. Silent in Parliament, silent in the cabinet, and all these Amsterdammers who in this recent period were attacked by these Maccabi thugs were abandoned by politicians and the rule of law. They had to live in fear that their windows would be shattered or that they would get hit with a steel pipe in their necks only because of their support for the Palestinians. People that were afraid to leave their house because those genocidal thugs were waiting for them. Where was the rule of law to protect these people? Yeah, because the police were really just escorting the Israeli thugs and trying to prevent clashes between the two groups of anyone that would either oppose one side or the other. They were just trying to maintain order, quote unquote.
Om deze mensen te beschermen.
Where was the police to act against this? Why is it allowed that these people are able to come to the Netherlands in the first place? I think that speaks to another really strong point, because you know the mindset of these fans, and we're going to look at in another video how now this disaster has moved on to a soccer game in France, and they're now terrorizing the fans during the game and beating them up during the game. So I understand that football fans are passionate. You know, I'm not a big soccer guy, but I know in American football in Texas, like, fans get passionate. Fights break out. Fans spit at each other. They say mean things about their teams. But, like, this is genocidal language. This is kill all the Arabs, right? Like, you don't hear that at a football game. We don't say, you know, kill all the, you know, the Baylor Bears or something. You know, it's like, nobody says that. Nobody means that. So I think the point where it gets to, like, stuff that exists outside the game, like the genocide and the violence and stuff like that, that's where it gets unacceptable. They're able to spew their hatred undisturbed. The people in the country see the legal inequalities and the injustice. And I think he's also getting at the point that none of these Israelis were arrested. They were simply just put on planes and flown back to Israel with no consequences. No ban from this country or from the city, or, you know, any sort of trial date or something, you know, some sort of assault crime prosecution or disturbance of the peace or something like that. So legal inequalities and the injustice. The entire parliament now wants to debate but did nothing when they rolled out the red carpet for IDF soldiers that post on social media that they were enjoying their genocide vacation in Amsterdam. I mean, there can't be enough. I mean, there's so much proof that it's overwhelmingly ridiculous. The entire parliament wants to take action, but did nothing against the anti-Muslim, racism, and glorification of genocide. How could people maintain trust in the rule of law if they see that the Maccabi thugs, like a bunch of colonists, were able to trek through Amsterdam? And we now see politicians like hyenas. I don't know what this guy's doing right here, you know, playing on his phone, laughing. I don't see anything funny about anything that's going on here. Jump on the resulting situation to take Geert Wilders, far-right leader from the right. Like vultures, they say that there is an integration crisis. They insist that it should be named that there is a problem with people with a Moroccan and North African background. Now, the Moroccan guy was the guy who was dragged out of his taxi cab and beaten by the Israeli Maccabi fans. So they didn't even drag out like a Palestinian guy. Like, he's Moroccan. He doesn't, like, you're just being racist. He doesn't have a quarrel with you, yet you drag him out of his taxi cab and beat him anyway. So here's where we are. So Moroccan and North African background. And of course, it supposedly is once again a problem with the Islamic community because Islamic youth supposedly reject, for a large part, Dutch values according to this government. That's kind of crazy. According to this government, where's the evidence for this disgusting statement? Because for the first time, we were able to see that we have an extreme right-wing government because Dutch Muslim youth have collectively been thrown by their own government under the bus, and I am so done with these racist scapegoat politics. Groups of people in society are collectively accused of being guilty because they are Muslim or have a Moroccan background. And the most horrible and hardline measures are now proposed. Taking people's passports, introducing a mosque police is too disgusting for words. And this sounds like a lot of stuff that happens in America as well. So, I mean, this would not be unusual to hear, like, Rashida Tlaib, you know, speaking in front of Congress or something, giving a speech almost exactly like this man is. And Chairman, I therefore say to everyone, and I say it to the Dutch government, if you ascertain that there is discrimination in society, you cannot answer this with even more discrimination. Therefore, stop with the scapegoat politics and shut out Dutch Muslim youth and Dutch Moroccans because of their religion and background. Stop with pretending there's an integration crisis. It is 2024. All those Dutch people no longer have to integrate. They are Dutch and they belong here. Wow. Powerful. Really powerful. And I love the words that he chose, and I really feel like he gets across what is happening. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I believe it's very important. It adds more context to anyone that is trying to refute what happened with the Maccabi fans and the Dutch, that they came into their city and chose to laud themselves for their genocide and try to beat up people in the streets. So like the video if you enjoyed the coverage here. Take care and be safe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you on the next one.